activity for the day. I need some of these logs over there in the arena for obstacles. We're going to let Lambo take them there. See how he handles it? There's a reason why I never bring a rope whenever I help with cattle. Somebody might be thinking I know how to use it. Alright, which side do you want to go on? Alright, now the reason why I'm choosing this to do today is in the first week that I had him tied up to a log about this big, just grazing, and he was doing good, and I was sitting there with him for 15 or 20 minutes. And I thought, well, I'll walk over there and pull the trailer over here into a low spot so I can teach him how to back out of the trailer. And as I pulled the trailer up, it spooked him. He bolted, and that log hit him in the back of the legs, and he went into a panic, went straight on into my brand new fence, and luckily he just got that little scab over his eye. That's what that's from. But so this is just got to teach him that the rope down around his legs, the rope being around him, not going to be a bad thing. I would take two of these longer ones. There's no point in me demonstrating to you that I can't rope, because you can see that. Back up. My bad. Sorry. Here we are on Christmas Eve. Lana's first time being back in the saddle since her accident a few months ago. And so we kept it super safe. But it was also a good opportunity to let Lambo kind of be around some stuff that was moving and making funny noises and that stuff. So that's part of the reason why he's there. And we were going to try and use Shimmer maybe to pull that sled, but we ended up not. Anyway, it's pretty fun. Inch of snow. Okay, so here's the beginning. This is the day before the incident. I'm kind of going to show you kind of how we set this up, or how I set it up. I'm only giving you like parts of the video here. There's a lot more of what you see here. I didn't cut anything out that was important, but I wanted you to show that I set this up in the best way possible, trying to get him ready and trying to make sure he could handle the stress that he was getting put under. Can't smell too bad. Just had corn and now hay in them. Scary, huh? I don't know if you can hear it there, but like those bags have a little bit of hay in them, so they might weigh 3 or 4 pounds is all, and they're just designed to give him, you know, something that kind of feels like legs on his side, something a little bit scary that he can learn to work through and be able to deal with stuff going on his back, and just to try and another way to try and sack him out and get him comfortable with things going on in the saddle. Like I said, for the sake of the length of this video, I cut this out. I think this first day I spent about 25 minutes working up to putting those things on him, or total, working up to putting them on them, and working with them. And by the end, he was handling them pretty well for the first day. I don't really want him scared of him. But it's another good thing to just let him get over it. It's got a scary sound and a scary look. So I'm going to ask for your input as this goes on here. You can kind of watch as this progresses right here and see the result in the end, and see if you can think of, you know, a way that could have been handled differently. I've learned this. Horse people are some of the, let's say, most abrupt
people you'll ever show your stuff to. They cut no, pull no punches, and they can be brutal and usually and even deliberately mean for some reason. That's okay. I'm thick-skinned. The only ones that bother me a little bit are the ones that are just absolutely. They'll make a comment that indicates they either didn't watch, what they're commenting on, or just don't know what they're even talking about. They're just being mean to be mean. But I find that a lot in the horse community is people are not patient with people who do anything wrong. They think they do everything perfect. So, I mean, like I've said before, all I'm showing you here is what I'm doing. I'm not saying, hey, I'm a horse trainer and you should do this. I'm explaining what I'm doing and what my thought process is while we're doing it and while we're working him through this process. So there's just a lot of approach and retreat here, getting him ready. And I'm about to turn him loose. And there we go. Now, I have him on that lead rope for a reason. He is a bolter. That's where when he panics, he goes into a dead blind bolt. And if I can turn his head, like here, if I can turn his head, I get him back to thinking a lot quicker, because he just simply has to deal with it. He can't get away and just run until it goes away, which is what he's developed as a defensive mechanism. And right here, he finally went, okay, the bolting didn't work. Let me stop here and think about it. And he's froze up right now. This isn't him accepting. This is him tolerating for a second. But I get him back into thinking here. Still hanging lower than I want. Man, that was scary. I'm just trying to give him every opportunity to realize that these aren't going to hurt him. Again, I'm not trying to scare him. I don't want to scare him. It's scary to him, but I'm trying to do this in the least scary way, because it's already a lot for him. So this is the next day. Like I said, we spent about 25 minutes working on it the day before. It went pretty well. So I'm just going to reintroduce those to him. He still doesn't like them. They make scary noises, and they have a weird texture to them. They have a little bit of weight to them when they go on the saddle. Again, so watch what happens here. You can help me out so I can improve what I do. I'm going to leave some audio in here. It's probably something I definitely would have edited out. My wife and I have a disagreement at the end of this training session as to what happened and what caused it. I don't say that I did the right thing in hindsight, but I can explain why I did what I did as it's happening, and you tell me what you would have done different, and what we could have done to prevent this. Whatever happened to the young man's heart? And part of training to be one of my horses is you got to put up with me singing. Because if I'm riding out in the hills, I'm probably singing.
And I'm staring down the barrel of a 45, sifting through the ashes of another life. No real reason to accept the way that things have changed. Staring down the barrel of a 45. Everyone's pointing their fingers, always condemning me. Nobody knows what I believe. Ooh, that's scary.
So you see again there, when I can turn his head, when I can turn him, I can make him stop and think. And that's, because I had the lead rope on him, that was very easy to do.
Swallowed by pain as he slowly fell apart. And I'm staring down the barrel of a 45, sifting through the ashes of another life. No real reason to accept the way that things have changed.
I have the flag there mostly so that if he gets where he's not thinking, I can make sure he doesn't come over the top of me. But also when he starts to get nervous, he doesn't take subtle hand cues that well, and so sometimes I need a little bit more to get his attention. So to me, he doesn't look bad at all here. I'm not saying that he's relaxed and just loving it, but he's his head a walk, his head's not super high. He's got his ears forward most of the time.
On his own, I'd like him to figure out that it's not scary enough to warrant the effort he's putting into it.
Right there, you see him shoot out a little bit. Something scared him. So I try to just stop giving him any input whatsoever. I don't want to give him any extra pressure when he's feeling the stress. And you can see he's picking up his pace here. What I'm wanting him to do, there we go. Now it happens quickly enough that I'm going to have to probably describe my thought process before it happens, because there won't be time during.
Here, I'll take it off.
I was going to take it off of him right there and give him a break, but he walked off. So as usual, I said, okay, well, if you need to walk, go ahead and walk. And here he was wanting to go right, and I wanted him to stay left, and he's ignoring me. He's not paying attention. So I walk back over to get the flag so that I can make sure that I have his attention. And I turn him back the way I ask him to go. And he does, and he's coming around. Him stopping there was him being nervous. So he's coming around, and he looks pretty good. So I'm just going to turn him, and he takes my hand cues and turns, and does good. Oddly, it's harder for him to do this bag thing with him facing with his left eye toward me, which is different for him. But I noticed that he has a more difficult time, and he doesn't want to turn and have that left eye when he's got those bags on. He wants to keep his right eye on me, which is different than for most things. So he's easier to turn back to have his right eye than when I try to turn him back to the left. So he's staying calm Everything looks like it's going good. I'm thinking that we're just about ready to maybe pull it off of him now and give him a break, tell him good job.
My heart is just too dark to bear. Can't destroy what isn't there. Deliver me into my fate. If I'm alone, I cannot pay. I don't deserve to have you. All my smile was taken long ago. If I can change, I hope I never
Okay,
know.
things are about to go south here. He was ignoring me, he'd turned back, so I was saying, no, I want you to go to the left. So he turns to the left, and right here, so like I said, I know that if I can turn him, I can usually get his mind back. So when he starts to panic right here, he starts to panic. I don't want him really running on this ice and snow, because he's going to have a wreck. He stopped a couple times, and right here, something spooked him. Now he's in a run, and I'm thinking, okay, shoot, I don't want him to slip and go down. That would be bad. So I decide when he comes around this time, I got to stop and turn him. I'll try to get out in front of him with that flag to turn him, and instead, there you go. And I'm just trying to get him to. So now, because that gate, that thing is damaged, I know if he comes around that way, he's going to try and jump it. So I have to turn him to stay away from that, or he's going to try and go over it again. That's my thinking.
I wasn't pressuring, I was trying to stop him.
That was pressure, 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 pressure.
I don't need your input.
You do. You should take help from other people. I'm watching from the outside. I can see it. You were making it worse.
And there you go. Maybe I was making it worse. Lana and I don't usually get that animated when we speak to each other, but what had just had happened, we were both kind of amped up. In her opinion, I had forced that horse over the fence. In my opinion, I was trying to prevent that. And even after it happened, I was trying to keep him from going back to that same spot and trying again to jump. So I was continuing to give him pressure to stay away from that spot. He's standing there now. He's bleeding pretty badly from his leg. He's got a pretty bad cut on his leg. You guys tell me. Did I set him up for failure there? If is there something you would have done different? What Lana says that I should have done was simply stand in the middle, stay completely calm, give him no input whatsoever, and he would have stopped on his own. What I say was he was in more of a panic, and he was going to eventually slip and wreck or go over the fence because he was in a panic. My thought was that I should turn him because that has worked in the past. The result was that I sent him over the round pen and damaged that thing and gave him a pretty good cut. But it's okay. Lana and I sometimes differ on our interpretation of what should be done, especially when it comes to horses. That's horse people in a nutshell. Everybody is an expert, and anybody that does it different than them is an idiot, and that's just the way it is. But you tell me, what should I have done different there? We did this same activity again the next day, and he handled it much better. I kept him on the rope, and he actually did pretty good. But that made it to where I couldn't ride him this week because of that cut on his leg.
It's okay. Okay, he's bleeding. Okay.
Where?
Left back of his leg. He's limping. You can see it from further down. Yes. It's okay. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay.
Anyway, feel free to give any positive, constructive criticism or, whatever you'd like to say. Comment down below. We'll move forward. I'll learn from it. Hopefully he learns from it. And we get better for next time. Thanks for watching.